I wanted to talk about neuroleptica, or in Germany and in Austria it's called neuroleptica. In America and England they are called antipsychotics. And antipsychotic medications, for example, would be something like Seroquel or Zyprexa, which I have here. Um, and These medications should have been were intended to use for operations, and I think that they are hugely overrated, and they are very much too often prescribed. They are where I'm at in Austria. They are even they are even prescribed as sleep medications, but they are in fact they are antipsychotic medications. So they would hand these things out like candy to 18-year-olds and tell them they are just for sleep, but in fact they are way more than that, and the side effects are severe. The side effects are severe. The side effects include gaining weight, gaining a huge amount of weight, and getting water in your hands and in your feet. So yeah, the first antipsychotic was chlorpromazine, and since then they have a whole lot of different medications, but they are dangerous. They should not be prescribed to 18-year-olds for sleep. They are in medicine. They are in a hospital. They are usually used for psychotic patients. That's why they are called antipsychotics. So if you are psychotic, if you have a psychosis or a hallucination that's persistent, you get chlorpromazine or Seroquel or something, or Zyprexa, for example. And then you would just go to sleep because they make you sleepy. But they also make you extremely hungry. So you will gain a lot of weight if you take this stuff for a long amount of time. For a long time, and they are addictive. So I had a friend who was addicted to Seroquel, which is an antipsychotic, and he used to take that when we were going into a disco, for example. He used to take these antipsychotics because he said it gives him a kick of some kind. And so these medications are very dangerous. They are not really deeply explored. They have been invented a long time ago, but still I think that it's not really known what the metabolism is, and how the body can get rid of that stuff, or if it's just getting laid out into the fat layers of the body. Maybe that's also a reason why you gain so much weight. So everybody who takes antipsychotics gets fat and slobby. Yeah. So I would really be careful with things like that, because doctors hand these strong medications out like if they were candy, and that's not okay, because they are dangerous. They have their place in medicine, but they should not be handed out like candy to 18-year-olds who could easily, uh, instead of taking Seroquel for sleep, they could easily drink chamomile tea or something, and wait until they get sleepy and go to bed then. Natural healing is a way better thing than modern medicine, because modern medicine isn't so modern at all, because chlorpromazine, for example, was invented I think in the 1950s or something. The side effects are involuntary movement disorder, gynecomastia, where you grow breasts, impotence, weight gain, and metabolic syndrome. Long-term use can produce adverse effects such as tardive dyskinesia. That is, tardive dyskinesia is when you feel all the time feel something crawling under your skin. So that must be very funny to have a sickness like that, where you have the feeling that something is crawling up your arm or something. And yeah, so the side effects, like I mentioned, are in the most part what's visible on on the outside from the side effects of these medications is weight gain. So you go from like 80 kilos to 120 within 6 weeks or something. So it's really not a good idea to trust the doctors. I would buy myself some books on either natural healing or orthomolecular medicine. I have the book somewhere. It's called Doctor Yourself, and there he explains what the body needs on vitamins and minerals and so on, and all sickness begins in the stomach. So you have to, in reality, you have to change your diet. And I know that sounds simplistic, but it's this has been proven over a very long time that even Hippocrates said that the mental disorders like schizophrenia and so on all are rooted in the gut, flora. So if you want healing, you have to change what you eat. You have to change your diet, and you have to learn about natural healing, orthomolecular medicine, and there's also a thing called the GAPS diet, GAPS, which stands for gut and physiology syndrome. So the gut has, and it also stands for gut and psychology syndrome. So the gut has an influence on your psychology, and on your physiology. So basically we just have to look at what people did after World War II, what they ate in the 50s and so on. Because they had very little resources, they ate the most nourishing and most healthy things, like chicken soup, for example. And I know that sounds very simplistic, but it's way better than taking antipsychotic medications for sleep. For sleep, like it's just it's criminal what they are doing. It's borderline criminal what they are doing. Prescribing these things to basically children. And I mean, they are prescribing hard drugs to children, like Ritalin, for example. Ritalin is not, it's chemically, from the chemistry, it's not an amphetamine, but it has the same metabolism in the body, and it has the same effect on um, on your body. So of course these children then suddenly succeed in school, because if I would take a line of methamphetamine and go to the university, I would be an A student for some time until I crash, and then I have to take it again. But these children are fed Ritalin, and yeah, I think that many of them stay on that stuff for a long time, and that's just borderline criminal what these doctors do and do prescribe. So that's what I wanted to say about neuroleptica or antipsychotic medications. Thank you for listening, and good evening.